Hi, this is day one of drawing with little to no prior experience, because art is in fact accessible. And I have a mechanical pencil that I stole from my best friend probably 2 years ago, some random traditional pencils that I probably stole from a classroom sometime, which I'm sorry, teachers are underpaid, and an old notebook, and a Hogwarts pencil case that did not age well, did it? Especially not for my asexual ass. So my prior experience is very limited, including pretty much just doodles. For example, quote-unquote realistic eyeballs, and cartoony faces that feature just one eye. But what am I actually going to be trying to do? Well, first off, I'm going to go with the obvious thing, saying that I have to draw with just that small experience. The only references I'm going to get are for a gimmick you'll see later. Speaking of said gimmick, now is later, and I'll be trying to replicate an artist's style. This is because of an AI thing where they tried to replicate people's styles, such as the Studio Ghibli, which I'm aware I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but such as that trend. So I'm going to be trying to do that so that you can prove that with a little bit of kind of cross-referencing, you can somewhat replicate it, even though I doubt my attempts will be anywhere near perfect. And of course, I'm gonna tag or credit whoever I've tried to replicate, just because, well, they're what I'm trying to replicate, it's kind of their work in a way. For day one, I'm going to be trying beachblu3s, one of my favorite artists, kind of one of the first comic artists, I guess, I tried to, like, actually keep up with. I fell in love with the Boooo AI series, specifically from TikTok. I'm pretty sure it's on their Instagram as well, I don't know, I'm not quite as caught up with them since I did TikTok, but they're still one of my favorites, and I absolutely adore their art style. They're kind of the reason I do really thick eyelashes on all my doodles. So I wanted to try it out, even though I know I'm gonna butcher it. And back really quick to what I'm doing, I'm of course gonna go kind of step by step with what I'm trying out first, and just see how well it works. And I will add the reference photo on screen about now for a little bit. I don't know what character I'm trying to do just yet, so we'll figure that out once we get past some of the basics, but I might pick a Project Sekai character just for the homage to the Boooo AI comic. So as you saw with the reference image, I'm going to be doing kind of a more chibi version of their art style. Maybe I'll do a big version of their art style at some point, but I've kind of had a hard time finding an image that's particularly sketchy. They're really good at erasing sketch lines, or maybe they don't have them, I don't know. But I kind of want something that's a lot easier to draw, something I can find where I can kind of see what markings they made. So I took this specific little Tsukasa picture because, I don't know, I just think it looks easier for me to do with little to no experience. So for the first little detail, I'm aware this looks like nothing, but I'm gonna start with the head, of course. And so it took me a couple tries to get a circle I was happy with, but I noticed he kind of has a little bit of, like, it like sticks out a little bit where his cheek is, and he of course has that big ear on the side, so I added to the circle this little bit that I will probably adjust later, and his ear, which I will fix, maybe detail once we have the hair in, because it's a little hard to make it look natural without something to blend it with. I think I'm saying this like I know anything, but next I need to start with the guidelines for the face. Now, who's going to submit this for some kind of creepypasta? Looking at the face, I, of course, first finished the cheek mistake because it was messing me up a little bit, and I drew a line straight down the center. This is to help with aligning the eyes, as well as I placed the mouth pretty much directly in the center, so that I could kind of draw this little line here to figure out how much space there is between the eyes and the mouth. I don't know if that's actually a good method, but then I gave him a little bit of blush to try and make sense of kind of the eye bags that Tsukasa has, because this is a sleepy Tsukasa. And I think about now I should probably try and pick my character for this, so I think I'm going to go with just straight Rin, or Rin, however you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced Rin, I don't know. Rin Kagamin, also technically from Project Sekai, but just generally my favorite character there. I wonder how anyone could possibly tell. So for the hair, I'll be doing kind of a bob, and I'll see what I can find for a reference on that. Okay, so for the bob reference, I'm going to be using this image of Tainari. from Genshin Impact. I'm hoping it might help. I don't know what I'll do with the bangs, since his bangs are a little thin for reeds. But I don't know, we'll improv it. Okay, so after erasing some of the headlines from behind it, I kind of have what I'd call a bob. I don't really know if it fits Reen so much, but I tried my best. Basically what I did with guidelines for the bangs is I took his little flyaway green strands and I made a swoop to the end here for Reen's bangs, and then I took the same kind of side part he already has on the other side so that it didn't look like her forehead was just chilling, I guess. And then I also noticed that China had some sort of like breaks in his hair, I guess. Not breaks, but you know what I mean, little gaps. And slight bit of unevenness. So I tried to add a little bit of that, but I don't think you can see it real well with all of the extra lines. So I don't know, I'll clean it up later. So I'm not entirely sure what to start with next. I added a little line to her ear because that was bothering me. And the next thing I can do is facial expression, but I don't know what facial expression to do. This is another case of I need to go search for a reference, which something tells me this is going to be another, probably Genshin character, because I did come across some Scaramouche artwork that maybe will work, so I'll go peek. Sure enough, the image I found was a Scaramouche image. I found this image of him cracking his knuckles and kind of grinning mischievously, so I kind of want to do that for Reen because I just think that fits her personality. Okay, changes were made. As I started drawing their face, it didn't quite align with the TV style, obviously, because I probably should have used the TV as a reference for the eyes. So I kind of slammed her face on the edge, as in I kind of took it in. I didn't change any of what was up at the forehead, but I took in the sides to make a chin, and I think that works a little better. I did the little button nose that I love, and I made her ear a little smaller to fit the face shape better. I think I'm gonna slim this down a little bit because it's starting to bother me the more I look at it. But I also slimmed down this side of the hair to move with her face, of course. As for the actual face, what the main event kind of is, I took my reference, and then you can kind of see it there. If my phone camera will focus, you can kind of see where my little scribble was that I erased, and I kind of drew around it. Her, like, lashes are kind of thicker than I was expecting. She's a little emo. I kind of love that for her, though. I'm adjusting. She's a little emo. I love that for her, though. I do think it would fit her. But they came out a little thicker than I thought they would. But what I basically did is I made this line, and then I made this line, to try and make them symmetrical. Which, I mean, maybe didn't work out that well, but that's why I made her eyebrows kind of like, I don't know what to call the expression, but I made it so this one was kind of like coming down and this one's already going up, so it doesn't quite look, it looks more intentional than it was. And then the smile took me like 3 attempts. I did one going this way and one going this way, and then I tried another one going this way, and none of them seemed to look quite right, so I went for this way, and I made it kind of a straight line at first. And as I'm studying, I noticed she kind of has a little bit of a lift on both ends before it like drops into the lip. So I tried to replicate that, because I think that's kind of her way of like, this is where, like, on a real person, where their mouth stretches a little further than like their lips. I don't know if it's real or not. I'm doing my best to explain my thought process. And then I tried a sharp line again that I smoothed out, essentially to make a more natural smile, I think. So next I'm going to actually be doing the pupils, which I think the best reference would be a Tsukasa. I'll go look for that. So I did in fact find this really good Tsukasa reference image where it's in full color and you can really see the shapes and lines inside of the eyeball. So I'm going to try and replicate that to the best of my ability with no color. So the shines will kind of be just a singular color, and I don't know how well that'll look, but we'll see. Okay, so the eyes are done. I did kind of draw her looking down, like I made these lines down here to this point to try and make her look not cross-eyed, but I don't know if it worked that well. But these are the eyes. I tried the little circle on the top and the little, like, mountain pit shape. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it kind of like goes up and then has little like pits or a basin or something of some kind. So I did that to the best of my ability. I think it looks really cute. The longer I go, the less motivation I am having to do full body, so maybe that'll be something we get over the series as it progresses, but I don't know, we'll see. So next I'm going to try and do her bow. I don't really know of any good references for the bow, so I'm actually just going to try and do this one on my own, based on some other pastorine doodles I've done. Alright, and there's her big dramatic bow. What I did for the bow is I essentially took a line of her hair and just kind of drew a line through it, and I shaded in a little bit to be her headband. Then I draw this big knot, erase a little bit for the shade, and I drew kind of, how would I describe it? I take kind of like an S, I do that, and then I draw it back into the reference point. So I don't know how you want to describe that, but that's kind of the shape I went for. And I don't know, I think it is a cute bow. With that, I'm gonna clean up some stuff and we'll have our final product. So this is our final product. I'm really happy with it, actually. I'm not sure it looks so much like beachblu style, but I tried my best. I'm really happy. It's been a while since I've drawn something so, like, full like this, other than, like, a doodle I did on a piece of science paper that I can't show because it has my full name right next to it. But I'm really happy with this. I loved looking into an art style, and I kind of hope that I'll know a little better from maybe some comments or something for the next one I do, so that I can kind of show progress in how well I can replicate styles. Again, to further prove that AI is what is gonna make art accessible. What's gonna make art accessible is your willingness to pick up a damn pencil and draw. So, I hope I'll see you guys again. I get maybe some suggestions in the comments of what I can do to maybe help me. And I don't know, I just hope I'll see you guys again. And that you had fun. I'm aware the quality probably isn't the best because I recorded this on my phone and you can probably hear the AC going on behind me. But I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun too. And I hope this helps AI bros realize that maybe this isn't their thing.